looks pretty cool. And then I think it flickers when I brake. I'm gonna set you guys up so you can see it, and I'll go press the brake pedal. I got a shift knob. Oh shit, we back, baby. I don't have to sell it, that's sick. I thought this was made of like aluminum, but it's just plastic, so which is why I'm being so careful. All right, I just trimmed up the silicone. Better idea of how it looks now. Pretty clean, not very noticeable. I also grabbed the trunk carpet out of the car while I was in there, and tomorrow I think I'm gonna pull out the main carpet, probably get the back seats out, and then start degreasing the carpet in prep for dyeing it. Today I ordered toe arms and Swift springs for the front. I've decided to go Swift because I don't think the front is stiff enough. I think I'm gonna probably end up bottoming out a lot. So I'm gonna get Swift springs and lower the front a little more, because right now I'm not super happy with the ride height. So I had to raise the car just to get it on a tow truck. The rear isn't hateful. I actually like the rear quite a lot, but the front has just like, because the arch is cut higher, it's starting to look very strange. I'd ideally like to be like right here. So one of two things is gonna happen. Either I'm gonna get different tires than what I have right now, just to get a taller sidewall and fill out the arch more. Or what is more than likely gonna happen is I'm gonna drive on these until they're destroyed, which probably won't be long given that my alignment's horrible right now, and then get bigger tires. But in the meantime, put the rear toe arms on and put the springs on. I'm also thinking I'm probably gonna move, I think if I remember right, the front are 14K and the rear are 12. I think I'm gonna move the 14Ks to the rear and then put the new Swift springs in the front, which are 30. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Here are the skirts. They're gonna need some more work to get them to mount right, but just to give you a general idea of how they'll fit, I think it'll tie it together pretty nice. All right, I got a lot of stuff in the mail. Well, actually, one of the things I got in the mail was this new shirt, which I don't know when this video is gonna come out. This shirt's probably live already, but if you want one, get one. They're cool. I'll throw a picture of the back up here. You can see the rear design. Okay, the stuff that I got is a lot. I got one of these bad boys. I gotta put the drill in charge right now, but got one of these. Oh, it's already on the charge. Love that. So that's for that. Oh, I just found my snips. They were sitting somewhere they shouldn't have been. Duplicolor fabric dye. A lot of YouTubers are using this. You're gonna get the real review here because well, they didn't pay me to say anything, so I don't really have to be nice about it. The good thing is that everyone says the black works really well, the fat flat black one. The bad news is they say it makes the carpet really brittle, so I guess we'll see. I've got my trunk carpet out right now, and I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna be doing with this. I'm gonna get a vacuum first. Where is this? We're gonna be giving this a go. Purple powered heavy duty cleaner and degreaser. We'll see how that goes. I need to go get the carpet out of the car right now, and then I'll show you the step-by-step that I'm gonna do. All right, so first things first, the seat needs to come out. There's gonna be some stuff around the e-brake that's gonna need to come out. The pedal stop on the left side needs to come out. I'm hoping I can kind of just like finagle lifting the seats back here to get the rear part of the carpet, because it only runs to here, like right under the back seat. Just because I don't want to deal with taking the back seats out and putting them back in. So all that needs to come out, and then I'm not really sure how people handle the middle. I honestly might cut it in the middle where you won't be able to see it anyway, and then figure out a solution for matching it up again. Because unless this is easier than it looks, I'm definitely not taking all that shit out. So I'll keep you posted as to how I decide to go about that. But yeah, so we're gonna start with the seat. That's the easy one. We have good news and bad news. The good news is that was easy. And the bad news is that I think I have discovered, I don't know what that goes to, into the pile. Discovered why my seatbelt won't stop beeping, and it's because that's not plugged in. Let's hope it's just because it needs to get plugged in again. That would be the definite best case scenario. Okay, now for this, I feel like usually there's a screw behind that. It feels like there's something behind that, but I don't see. Does this come out easily? This is most of my, how I work on cars, is I kind of just like push and pull on shit until something happens. I'm willing to bet the screw is behind that, but I don't see a way. Back in the good old days when they knew that people were gonna smoke in their car, so they just built it with a cigarette thing. I wonder, does this come up? Oh, okay. There's your answer. You pull up on it. And then, yes, just as I suspected, some bullshit like clasp situation in there. All right, so that comes up, and then there's probably something under this gross panel right here, so you could get a flathead. BRB. 2 Phillips. Didn't find a screwdriver, but found something equally as good, which is my 1/4 inch and an adapter that fits. Why are these so tight? It is 85 degrees Fahrenheit today, which somehow isn't the hottest it's been. We're at the point of calling that nice weather. Not nice weather to be in a cabin of a car. So, excuse my heavy breathing. It's awful out here. Okay, 1 bolt. Just give it to me. Thank you. And this just slips up and back. And it comes right off like that. Easy peasy. And I think I can leave the shift knob, honestly. I think it's gonna fit over it. So now it's time to start getting the trim and the stop pedal. And honestly, the stop pedal looks like it might be built into the carpet. It's kind of hard to tell, but excuse my lack of organization in here. I just know that everything in the car goes in the car at this point. That's kind of where I'm at. But this, if you don't have one of these, you gotta get one of these. This thing makes your life way easier. All right, here's something important. Other Integras have a hole in the middle right here with a bolt. DA's, it's hidden behind this plate. So you have to get a flathead and kind of pry it off. Mine was really stubborn, but behind that look like 2, I guess they're 10s that are gonna hold this to the floor, and the carpet won't come out without those, so. All right, last tidbits are, there are 2 plates that hold, there are like vanity plates over top of this. There are 1 Phillips screw right here. Really easy to get out. Oh, I need to go pick that tab up. I see it fell. And then the cover over top of the trunk and gas control is 1 screw on the top behind a plate. Also very easy to just take out the screw and then it pops off. Over here, it's pretty much just this. Driver's side's harder, and then we make our cut. If it hasn't already been made, it kind of looks like it's cut already, but and then it should just lift right off the e-brake and the shifter. We should be good to go. I'm sorry for the weird angle. The phone keeps overheating. Okay, I think it overheated again. I'm sorry, but I got the carpet out. There's one thing I want to say about the inside. There's a little ground switch right here that goes to this tab that tells it when the parking brake's down, it pushes this lever. So you want to just pull that off so that you can go through the hole in the carpet, or you'll tear that connector and then you'll have a really bad time. But yeah, and then otherwise you can see, I wonder if that goes there. I don't know. That looks kind of empty. And there's not on the other side. I don't know. If you know what that red thing is, tell me. All right, I just threw the headlights and the fogs in just to test them. Make sure they line up. The bumper sags because I haven't put the pieces back in yet, but tightened up the bash bar to make sure it fits. It looks good. Still a lot to go, but the vision's starting to come alive.
Stand over here, please.
Why?
Because I don't want you getting spray paint on you.
Why?
Oh, see, it's stinky.
All right, today I'm doing something I've been putting off, and that's the passenger side window rail regulator and motor. I had to put up a tent because it's so fucking hot, and I'm hoping that keeps the camera from overheating. But yeah, so this should be pretty simple to get to. There's a bunch of little plugs where they hide the screws, and then it kind of just pries off. I'm hoping I know where all the screws are, but we'll see. Yeah, so let's get to it. Okay, so everything in this is a little bit different than my other Integra. I'm very used to the DC EG platform, and everything in this car is a little bit different. So the biggest thing is you can kind of see here where they sat. There's a bunch of clips, like retainer clips, that will hold it in at the top, and mine were pretty stuck. So I found that pulling this weather guard down and going in from it right here and kind of using this lip to wedge it off got it started, and then once you can get the end, you can kind of jiggle all the way down. It helped having the window down. I might have to bring the window back up for this, I'm not sure, but so now it looks like this door has never been opened, which is absolutely crazy, because it still has the OEM paper on it with the gross stuff. But so this is gonna have to come off to get behind it. I'm gonna try to preserve as much of this as I can. This stuff usually will kind of just like sit back on where it was. Might have to take this piece off as well. I think I will, to get behind it. But and then you can kind of start to see the workings of the whole rail system in there. I'm not entirely sure how it comes out. I don't know if you have to like disassemble it in the door and take it out through this pocket or what, but mine's already pretty disassembled, the new one. I'm honestly wondering if I can get away with just doing just the motor portion, but we'll see. I'll get in there and look around. All right, so the window motor sits behind that side, and I'm gonna try, it sits the way I have it sitting here. So this is up in there, this faces outside, that faces inside. I think there's enough room for me to squeeze my hand back there and get these 8s back in, so I'm gonna try it. I'm like, fuck it, if it doesn't work, I'm gonna have to do all this work anyway, but if it does work, it might save me a lot of time. So I'm gonna try. There we go. Release the motor. Now what does that do? That comes off. Looks like there's a gear in it. Okay, so then that gear, I guess I'm gonna have to fight that spring. Wow, this thing's crusty too. Good grief. So the spring will come down. The gear will sit in there. Oh yeah, there's the spring right there. So that might be a challenge. But I'm gonna at least wire it up and see if it moves. All right, so I have the door wired up over there, or the what is it called? The motor. I'm gonna see if it moves when I hit this button over here. Huh. Well, that's not a good sign. Okay, I had a suspicion that this may be like my other Integra, and that is that the passenger window function will not operate unless the passenger window switch is plugged in. So it must complete the circuit. So I helped door card over the switch, plugged the passenger side switch back in, and then the motor spun on the floor with it plugged in. So good to go. I'm gonna start tearing into this and see if I can get my hands back there. I'm not gonna be able to film it really because there's nothing to look at other than me cursing at a door card. So I'll update you when I get it out. Okay, it's been like 2 hours. I'm miserable. I hate this. I hate this car. I wish I was dead. Here's the update. these 2 bolts go to the bottom of the X rail, right? They move independently. You can see they have no tension. These 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold the spring coil and the motor assembly to the door. The last piece is the upper rail, which you can't see, which has a bolt on either end that goes through a rubber washer, which goes through the window, which holds the window. So think of it as a giant X with an arm that goes down to the motor and a gear arm. They all fit based on each other's position. So like when they're locked in place like this is the only piece that moves, so it forces the window up and down. In order to get the motor out, which I only did the motor, I didn't do the rail. I took these 2 bolts out, I took all 4 of these bolts out, let the window droop, and the motor and the entire like gear arm swung down into this area right here where I could service it in the door. So I took the motor off, put the new motor on, put it all back together, greased the arm. Getting it back in was a problem because the motor's position, I can show you, it has a gear on it. And wherever that gear, I mean, the motor won't turn very easily, if at all, by itself without power. So I tried to put the motor back in the same exact position that it was in, but the window moves and there's a lot of variables. So what I had to basically do in reinstallation was put this part of the rail back on, and you're gonna have to fiddle with the window to get it to where you have enough slack to put this rail back on. So at that point, then you have 2 positions locked. So it's basically opposite of what it normally is. Then have someone move the window up and down, and you may, what I ended up having to doing was reattach the door card and hit the switch to actuate the gear on the rail to swing it until it was at the right angle to get reinstalled. So it might be better doing that to begin with and having the switch ready to go. But yeah, so had to do that, and then once it swings to an angle that looks right, then you should be able to kind of fiddle, leave everything loose, have someone wiggle the window up and down, fiddle with it until everything lines up again and goes back in. Was this easier or harder than doing it in the full reinstallation fashion, meaning taking the entire window out of the door, dropping the entire motor arm, etc.? I don't really know. I'm pretty familiar now with how the mechanism works because I had to fiddle with it an awful lot. In this case, probably took longer just because I wasn't familiar with it. If you know what you're gonna have to do, and you have small arms like me and small hands, you can probably do it a lot faster than doing a full rail replacement. But either way, neither one is too terrible. Even I was looking at doing potentially just taking the whole thing out, and even at that point, it's really not that many pieces. It's just a lot of like finagling because there's not a lot of space to work with. So it's definitely beneficial to have small appendages like me for this job. But yeah, I hope this was somewhat helpful. I don't really see much content on YouTube for the DA chassis, so I'm hoping to kind of like add a library to it of what I've done to this car. So yeah, I'm gonna put everything back together now, but I hope that was a little bit educational. Maybe not, who knows. All right, carpet's done, finally. This isn't like a perfect restoration or anything, but I am pretty happy with how it came out. It's black. It looks much darker in person than it does on camera. Honestly, like if it weren't for the holes, I would say it looks pretty new, but obviously it has some holes here and there, so not new, but pretty close. So I'm gonna throw it back in, bolt the seat back down. Yeah, I was gonna try to take all this insulation off, but it's honestly just so gross and annoying that I'm not gonna. So sorry if you were hoping to see that. I don't know. I still haven't figured out necessarily what this plug goes to. This is obviously a seat harness, like a seat belt safety clip for the SRS. But yeah, so once I'm with this, then I can start piecing together the rest of the inside, all the plastics and whatnot that go around, and still debating on honestly whether or not I'm going to run this lip, because I really want to drop the front about a half an inch more. It was raised for transport, but ideally I'd like to get this to about right there. And I still need to roll these fenders, so I think that lip might just honestly be too low. But I'm also worried that if I do the OEM lip and put the side skirts on, it'll look weird because I think the front lip's smaller. The EK side skirts are like this. The front lip I have is like this. So I don't know. I might try to just make something, because the one I really want is the, I forget what it's called, but it's like an OEM style one, but it's much taller and they're just nowhere to be found. And the people that have them want like $500, and that's just insane. So probably not going to mess around with that too much, but I'm going to put it in and we'll see how it goes. All right, the carpet's in. And I must say, I think I did a pretty decent job myself. This is kind of special. These floor mats I have had probably for 5, 6, 7 years, and I've never used them, just because I never felt like I had a car that they looked right in. But I think they look right in this car now, so I finally get to throw them in something, and that's really really cool for me. So you guys probably don't care, but cool for me. Seats going in, and then I'll do a tour. All right, the carpet's in, mats are in, the seats in. I'm not gonna start on the interior pieces tonight because honestly I'm just really tired and I don't feel like it. I kind of want to be able to deal with the frustration of plastics not fitting perfectly, because I know they won't. I was thinking about doing the cluster bulbs, but I'll show you. The whole dash piece, like literally across the whole thing, is one big piece. I thought it would be more like the DC2 as usual, where the top is just its own piece and you can pop that out, but it doesn't look like that. So I'm not going to dive into that tonight either, but I do want to show you, excuse the mess, the new carpet. I think, and ignore that wire, I don't know what that is. But once the rest of the pieces, like the trims and everything, are back in, I think it made the interior look quite a lot better. Obviously, all that needs to get cleaned in varying states of disarray. But yeah, especially with the black door cards, the black leather, I feel like it really looks at home now. It's starting to look right. So really happy with the way that came out. And I will tune in with you guys tomorrow when I start throwing the plastics back together. I'm pretty excited about that too, because I want to see how the car looks. I've got them all in the trunk here. Also, peep the new shirt. Pretty hyped on these. You can probably pick these up in the store now. I can't really show you the back, but the back is sick. So if you want one, go check it out. But here are all the plastics I have. Top trunk trim, regulator, center. I thought I had there's a few more back there that all have to go up in the front, like under the glove compartment and whatnot. But yeah, so I think I have everything. I've also got the double din delete panel to go where the radio goes. I might not have the cigarette box, which sucks because that's going to be a nightmare to find and it's probably going to cost me a lot of money. But oh, and I also, well, you know what, I'm realizing now I probably shouldn't have put the e-brake cover back on, because I have the armrest to go in, so I should probably put that in before I start on all that. Mental note to self. But yeah, all right, it's about to rain, so I'm working quickly. I just want to show you a couple little things. I was kind of hoping the armrest would have holes at least dimpled on the chassis to drill, but they're not, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. That might not happen today. I have this interior piece I'm putting in, but first I wanted to show you the double din delete. Then if you look up in there, it's gonna be really hard to see, but I basically, there's an item called a ghost box. It's a Bluetooth radio with no interface, so it doesn't look like the car has a radio at all. And then you just get in the car and your phone connects to the speakers via the Bluetooth and you can play music from your phone. Essentially just like a hardwired Bluetooth speaker. So I've put that in there behind the delete plate, so it just looks clean. There's never anything to touch. All the volume control is done from your phone. I plugged it in real quick just to see if it would do anything, and it worked, so that's really cool. That's by far the easiest thing I've done to this car so far. But yeah, so I'm just kind of like pushing stuff around and seeing what pieces fit with the least amount of work. Trying to put this interior center panel back in. I don't think I have all the screws because I don't think the car came with them, so I'm gonna have to go look for some screws. I'm gonna have to drill for the armrest. Yeah, just a lot of like little stuff. But we're making progress day by day. I'm trying to just do one thing a day, so I can have progress in the car. And I mean, just seeing the car with like carpet back in it and floor mats is amazing to me. So that's a good feeling. But yeah, so I'm gonna put the center thing in and I'll show you if it doesn't rain. What could I possibly be carrying this for, you ask? It's time to drill holes in the floor. All right, so thank you to the help from everyone in the forum. I now know how this goes in. It's pretty easy. Basically, well, I guess I have to take this off first, but all right, so behind the carpet, there's that 10 millimeter there and another one on the other side, which you can kind of see the silver of. That is the rear. So this one, and then the front two, there's supposedly a dimple, which I really don't see. I saw a photo on theirs and it was there. I might just have to mark it. But yeah, there's supposedly a dimple down there somewhere to drill a hole and riv nut the front one. So that's what we're gonna do. I might have to take the driver's seat out again, which sucks, or I might just move it way the fuck up, but that's what we're doing. Now this will unfortunately mean we're gonna have to cut the carpet, but that is quite literally what the OEM manual says to do for the installers when these were optional. So you basically just make a cut. I'm not gonna cut all the way down to this because I don't want this to be floppy. So I'm just gonna cut to like here, straight up, use this line as an anchor, and then cut. There's like insulation that starts here, so I'm just gonna follow that down in the front and kind of just make a flap that pulls out. And then there's actually a provision on the armrest where it tucks back in. Not the greatest solution, but hey, better than hacking the carpet up trying to get a hole and then drilling through it, and or taking all of this shit back out again, which I really don't want to do. So sometimes you just gotta say, fuck it, we ball. You guys are gonna have to work with me. I can't find my tripod, so once again, working with what I have here. Okay. So we gotta do a line here down. This hurts my soul, but whatever. And then here down. There you go. There's your flap, and there's our 10 mil. Where's my socket? Just a little baby 10 mil. It's kind of weird that they just have this one by itself. And if I do this and something falls from underneath the car, I'm gonna be pissed. I don't know why I'm doing this either. I could just be doing this with my electric ratchet that I paid a bunch of money for, but this thing is tight as hell. Assuming it's never been removed before. Okay, and nothing below it. Good. Add it to the pile. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't see a dimple. So that sucks. Time to move the driver's seat and do the other one. All right, because I'm me, the paint pen broke and put blue ink everywhere. So, but I was able to figure out where that went. So that's what we're working with. There's the riv nut. That's what I'm putting in. Yeehaw. All right, I kind of want to show you guys how a riv nut works in case you don't know. Basically, this tool is just kind of like a modified vice grip, and it just pulls this threaded shaft into itself and butts it up. Why won't it focus? Butts it up against this piece and squishes the back of it. So it makes this crease. So this is what they look like. And if you can imagine, the chassis goes in between. So it sandwiches it where my fingernail is. And because of the way the tool is, it keeps your threads intact. So it essentially gives you a threaded hole where there wasn't one before. They're really useful. I mean, people use them all the time. You probably already know what they are, but figured I'd show it while I'm doing it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in and then we'll look at it. All right, so here's some fun lore. These riv nuts are 1/4 thread, and that is not anything that any of my cars has. So I have a fuck ton of these like M6 laying around, but they're like, I don't know, whatever, not thinner than, finer thread depth than 1/4. The only thing I have in that thread, and I'm not going back to Ace today, is the hardware from like all my camera stuff is all standard. So it's all 1/4. And these, I have 2 of these, and they just so happen to be the right thread. So I found those, and I found 2 washers in a bin, and we make do. So they're going in there, fuck it. Once again, fuck it, we ball. But no, yeah, like, I don't know. I know most of my friends do this, but if you don't already do this, every time you find hardware, just put it in a box. Keep a box of assorted hardware. Because assorted hardware, like the trash bin hardware, has saved me in spots more times than I can even fucking count. Like, I literally can't even tell you how many times I've used trash hardware on stuff when I was in a pinch and it worked. So that's your lesson for today. All right, technically, or at least in theory, this should be able to go in now. We'll see if that's actually true or not. I have a sneaking suspicion, because of the way this side of the chassis sits, that I might only get 2 of these in, but as long as they're on opposite corners, I don't really care. So oh my god, boys, we did it. Both bolts, both sides. God is real. Man, that ain't too shabby right there. All right, off to find a longer bolt. All right, found a bolt again. Tightening up the last bolts. Oh, and while I'm in here, I should also remember to plug in my e-brake arm sensor. This little provision to tuck your carpet back in. I didn't do a super awesome job of cutting right where they wanted me to, but it's not the end of the world. Lost some insulation there. All right. And now I think we are good to put the e-brake cover back. There we go, e-brake cover back on. It's gonna be a tight fit. This has to come down. Actually, how do I do this? Don't tell me this has to go on first. All right, so here's my point of view sitting in the car. Honestly, I'm a little further up than I'd like to be, but I retracted the seat enough that it works. Here's what I'm talking about. Like, it literally, right over here, it hits. It doesn't touch right now, but it is like right up on it. And while the armrest is awesome because it's really comfortable, it's honestly a little high. Like, my hand, I might have to get a taller shifter, quite frankly, because to put it in, to keep my arm on it and put it in first, like, first to second is really awkward. If I was up here, it would probably be fine, but I don't know. The e-brake is really fucking annoying now. Like, I have to reach around the armrest, and when my passenger seat's here, if there's a passenger there, I'm gonna have to go like this and like literally actuate the button in front and put it down like there, because you can see like it literally hits it. If I pull this all the way up, it hits it. Like, I don't know, again, if it's a trim thing, if I'm forcing the armrest into a trim it wasn't meant for, and that's why nothing feels right, or if they're just so bad that that's why they decided we're going to stop doing this. But either way, it's a really cool piece. It's definitely a time capsule. It's collectible. I'm really happy it's in the car. Fuck it, whatever. Gripes aside, I ordered the coin chain, like the ashtray thing, and this tray, which I don't have. And I wanted to make a note of it while I was thinking about it. If you don't have a cup holder and you would like one, there are 2 different things I've seen online. One is a replacement for this. Your rear ashtray, they make a piece that you take your rear ashtray out, and then it's a cup holder that slots in here. So you would have a single cup holder here. And then I also saw a guy who makes, and I'll link him in the description, makes a coin drawer here, but when you pull it out, it has a hole in the middle and you can sit your cup in it and your cup base rests here, which I thought was really smart. So 2 options for you to get, and they're really cheap. They're all 3D printed pieces. So like, it's not like they like cost a lot of money. Like they're very affordable, probably like $14 or something. And so that would be a really affordable way to get cup holders in your car if you do not have any and would like some. What else? I'm trying to figure out my side skirts. I need to figure out a mounting solution that makes them kind of easy to take on and off. I got these really cool zip ties today I'm very excited about. I got neon zip ties, unrelated. But yeah, so I also have springs on the way. I think I talked about this already. If not, I have springs on the way for the front, to stiffen up the front, and rear toe arms because my alignment is currently horrible. So I'm gonna do that and then do an eyeball front alignment. What else? I found these really cool, I don't know if they're OEM or not, but I found these rear floor mats in the trunk from the previous owner. So that's a cool touch. Get to put those back there. Eventually I might try to get the matching checkered ones like the front, but it's not here nor there right now. Other than that, I'm making progress. Like I said before, I'm basically trying to do one thing a day. And if I can get that much done, I feel, this fucking mosquito, I feel very accomplished. So, making progress. But I think that's gonna do it for today. I'm pretty tired. That's kind of sucked. So yeah, I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. Peace.